It's Ron again. Just a little bit more thinking out loud. I guess considering the future, can you? I guess it's kind of a rhetorical question, but something I was thinking about. Something I have been a bit thinking about lately is the future and really I was considering how for quite a while now I haven't really been able to conceptualize a future in this world as it stands now, if that makes sense. And for anyone that's been in the present moment for a while, sure, it probably will. But yeah, yeah, no longer even now. I can't really see how a future is going to play out here in this place, the way it's set up with all the deception. Though I know it can, I'm sure it will, and all this other stuff. Just right now, I just don't get with all the, yeah, I don't want to be I'm trying, I'm trying to be a downer. But it's hard to picture. It's just so weird. It used to always be so easy. And then for quite a while there, I did conceptualize so many different things, past, future, putting things together inside myself type of thing, considering things, exploring consciousness, this and that and the other. Putting things together energetically without there, lining things up, kind of giving things back that didn't belong to me energetically, so to speak. Considering things like the seven deadly sins something to be very real, something energetic that even the thought of could cause harm because it's the misuse of an energy. So it's using the wrong side of an energy. So to give all those things back kind of out to nature where they belong and leave those out there and not all mucking up the inside, so to speak, and messing up the thoughts and the consciousness and things and the feelings of things. Well, after doing that kind of stuff, so in depth, inside, I guess for a while, eh, it's hard to see how it gets set right when so many others can't seem to see those things yet and feel those things yet. So all this indoctrination we've been through, I guess, for generations. It's weird, weird, weird. So it's so hard for me to picture how does this really go. I know it could right itself. I've talked about those kinds of things too, like many others. Different indoor grow systems and these different big buildings that are everywhere, all these different empty houses in different places everywhere, shelters everywhere that could be filled with folk that need places to stay. If we could just get past the belief of the money thing. All this stuff that's already made, that's already here, and nothing else has to be produced. Everything is already here. No more struggle has to take place, no more control and fighting and this and that. Everything can just be used in a natural way for everyone if we could just get past the greed. If they could get past the greed, whoever they are, I don't know. But that greed is taught and indoctrinated and made a way of life and has been. That's, how do you get so many folk to get past all those fake beliefs all at the same time? All in the same place, all at the same time, all questioning the master and then questioning them to question their master and figure out just what's going on here. Why are we doing this and I'm not doing this anymore if it's something that's wrong? If it's something that's morally wrong, if it's something that's causing harm, we're not doing this anymore. I mean, that could be said everywhere all at the same time. It really could. If everyone could just key in all at the same time and just go, wait, something isn't right here. And quickly see and feel that, oh, a lot's not right here. None of it's right. Very unnatural, very wrong, very left of right, very not in balance. Not in balance with nature. So, what has happened? What has happened? And now, what's the future look like, I wonder? Because the future looks pretty dismal. All the drugs being pushed, all the manipulation still being pushed, all the theater still being played, all this toxicity still being sprayed through the air, spread through the water, spread through the frequencies of the information that's put out and through these screens that folk are hypnotized by some days, a lot of times. We can't see that now they turn the sky into a shell of gray poison. I've wondered that for a while. As I look up, especially with my background, and when it really hit me to go, whoa, every day and go, we are living underneath a daily NBC attack. And the N doesn't have to stand for nuclear in this case of the NBC nuclear biological chemical attack. It can very well stand for nanotechnology biological chemical attack or nanoparticulate. So to me, it's very real, and it has been for quite a while, and it's only ramped up this year exponentially, which came out publicly because of a study from Harvard that said, yep, we're doing it, and we've been saying we're going to do it, and now we're really going to do it. And it makes me wonder what this winter is going to be like with all this exponential increase in particulate, which I know right now, to me, I don't know, but to me it looks like defoliation going on right here to give the semblance of the fake winter like they did last year. Except this year, I bet there will be exponentially more fake chemically ice nucleated snow that's just a ton more slick than normal snow because it's unnatural and it's more cold, and more wildlife will freeze and more folks will freeze. More damage and harm will be done. Why? I don't know why. That's what I wondered. That's why, where do we go? What happens now? Because to me, there also has to be group upon group upon group of folk out there that know what's right, that are working to do the right thing and are working to put a stop to these harmful things, because I have to know that, because I know that that is our nature by nature. Now, who do I mean by our when I say our, as I talk about myself and someone else? Well, I would say the majority of folk that I've ever come across during my life. And I also say I don't know what some folk might be. Maybe some folk are suppressed to the point to where they are actually animalistic, in the point to where they don't have a full spirit yet, and that very well could be. Doesn't make them any different than me, that I figure. Maybe just they didn't have the time to heal inwardly and grow naturally inwardly yet, from the inside out, to put things together yet, but they can. And then some beings, or maybe some other type of being altogether, I don't know what, but I would think the vast majority of us are all the same, because none of the labels work for me. This label of that, this, that color, this, that, uh, any of the fake belief systems, religion, government, money. I don't care what belief system you fall under. We're still all the same folk that got taught all the same fake, false beliefs. I figure we all the same folk that can break out of those same generational enslavement beliefs that have been imposed upon us and toxified into us. Though I also don't know what this whole thing is, this whole reality, so to speak, thing. And yeah, I don't know how, yeah, just what this experience is for each individual. I don't know what it is for them. I'm still working on it for myself. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what past this can I do? Because to me, be able to explain and understand and get my own intricacies to this level, to this point, to where I can express them and read those types of things and see the imbalances and see the other things being played out all over and be able to address them and try and help in a helpful way to set things right in a morally correct way in line with truth. Well, while I'm doing that, I'm attempting to do that the best way I can with language, which to me is the best way to do it. Because that's the way all these concepts were conveyed in the first place, was at least first through language, through putting that thought to spoken word, or that concept or series of concepts or thoughts or understandings to spoken word or written word. However it goes, the words are what are important. And getting the right words out in the right way from the heart, from the soul, with no agenda attached to it, and not trying to gain followers and not trying to leech the energy of others vampirically from them. When, to me, right now, whoever they are, they need all their own energy they can muster at this point, in this stage of the game, so to speak, in these days, whatever's going on here. Because to me, it seems pretty epic and profound, this whole thing, and I don't even know fully what that entails. So, but it is something on that scale, I would say at the least. It's definitely way past the the materialistic just aspect of this experience, because that's only one aspect, the material. One that's been totally mistaught, totally misunderstood, and totally put on a ridiculous pedestal above all else at the cost of all else, just because someone came up with the concept of cost and started attaching that price tag to everything in a way to implement that and keep that going and repeat it in a repetitive fashion under whatever this name or that. Yeah, I don't know. This is so. What does the future look like? How does it get to the Gene Roddenberry Star Trek cashless society, to where everybody kind of comes together and goes into more of a mode of exploration and let's explore reality, not the fake reality of constructed, all of that stuff. I'm not going there. No, I'm talking about the very real inner cosmos of one's own consciousness and mind, and that inner cosmos of one's own heart and one's own empathy, and that energetic connection with what you can see out there with your eyes as the cosmos, from here, right here to out there, without the imaginings of nonsense to muck up what you're looking at, to misconstrue the feelings you're feeling and the energies that you're feeling and putting out and taking in, to distill all these inner energies in a natural, energetic way with all those energies out there. and be able to exist with all those energies as a part of all those energies in balance, in line with the creator, with that compass pointing moral true north, so to speak, right to the center of the spiral, right to the center of the energies, and right to it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you get to your center, as long as you get to the center of you, the center of your energy, and find a center point you can operate from in full control. Full control, to not be impeded by intrusive thoughts or energies or ill intent, or an attempt to force an action or reaction in the physical world in day-to-day life. As you're tested by the dark energy that's infested others, and it's infested and narrowed their consciousness to a point to where they're in attack mode and they lash out. Now you have to be wary of those kinds of things, because those kinds of things that dwell within folk energetically that they cannot understand, because they can't realize it's a real imbalance with them, because they think it's normal life, because they think they're fighting for a cause that they think is theirs. It's only due to belief of repetitive, intrusive programmed thoughts. You have to be wary of those things. And if you see those things, to tell those things exactly what they are and say you're arguing nonsense based off someone's belief that you've made your own. And then leave them with it. Leave those words as the mirror that they have to look at themselves in, and even give them the last word as they want to say whatever, long as you said what you had to say. And then let them say whatever they have to say as you leave them with those last words that they want to spew, because they'll be left with the mirror you left standing in front of truth, looking back at them, showing them that they're operating off of the belief that they were taught by another, or a belief they picked up along the way somewhere that's not theirs. Yet they're fighting wholeheartedly, half-heartedly, because their heart is suppressed and they're not feeling from the heart, obviously. They're acting from repetitive, illogical mind, devoid of feeling and empathy of the heart. So it's very easy to spot all these imbalances in oneself, correct those imbalances in oneself. Because once you pick up on one or two, well, then it's off to the races, so to speak, or it can be. Once you can really grab hold of thought and really understand thought and really get thought, and then get that it's only energy, it's only your own energy sparking. So why not? Why shouldn't you have full control? Why shouldn't the energy spark when you need it, how you need it, where you need it, in the way you need it, in an all-encompassing fashion, with all of your experience available to draw from at the same time those words need to come out? And then I say it can happen, and it does happen, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Because it's a going inward, and it's a healing process. It is. It's a consciousness process of evolution. That is our absolute choice to take part in and go as deep and as fast as we want to with, or as slow and ignore it and suffer the consequences for as long as we choose to, or for as long as we're tricked to, as far as I can tell. Because had I known these things I know now, that's the thing, I could not know these things I know now during the whole first portion of my life. I couldn't, because I couldn't see or feel any of it for what it was until I did. So it's so weird to me that this has gone on for so long in this place, that now all these systems are so established and so entrenched in the consciousness of folk, all these different beliefs, that they can't break free of them. Break free of one or two concepts at a time, but then some other concept keeps them roped in. I was in the same boat. It took me a while to break all these concepts down and really get the deception underlying all of it and turn it from look at things from is this natural, is this unnatural, and all this. It took a while, but after being in that state for so long of knowing those things from wisdom now to see the deception and be able to see and know it and speak to it and at it and on it so clearly and to see it be healed in others and as it healed in me and as I continue to watch it be healed, still crazy that it's not happening faster. Though I get why it's not, because this indoctrination is that deep. It's that involved. And get how I get a lot of depths that I don't even talk about, as does everyone else, because who wants to go into the pit of the depths of the nasty? And I'd like to say everyone should go into the depths of the pit of the nasty inside themselves, because that's where the most profound wisdom comes from. The most profound inner responsibility grabbing, when you really grab responsibility for not just what you've done here, but the potentiality that, you know what, you might be the cause of all of it. That's a hard, I don't even want to suggest the phraseology of that, what I was about to say. Because folks shouldn't be swallowing on them pills that they push. But that's a hard reality to swallow, so to speak. To take that kind of, at least in the heart and in the consciousness, take on that possibility to then take on that responsibility to that level, to that crushing of a level to go, what if I was the cause of all this? To me, that's how the most profound and fast healing and expansive consciousness and interview of everything happened for me. And from there, like I said, going that deep, that fast, allowed me to go up, so to speak, up within myself, up within my feeling and consciousness and out and really get things and put things together with a quickness, with being able to see the beauty of life so profoundly because I had seen the absolute blackest dark of it and then kept myself there inside purposely to try and explore it to its depths. Yeah, multiple times. That's that place folk fear to go to inside themselves, keep themselves distracted with some outer distraction, to keep away from that. And that's where the most important spiritual work has to start, in my humble opinion. At least, at least, at least for those that have been raised in this total system of full spectrum indoctrination and mind control. It takes that to break out of all those layers, in my opinion, quick enough to make a positive impact here during this life still, with however much fake time we have, time as in the way it's set up and explained and taught, as if it's its own separate concept. To me, there's not much of that stuff left. The way it stands now and the way this enslavement has gone for so long and the way we seem to be at this precipice of everyone about to break. It's ridiculous, and it can all just be stopped if everyone can just stop. Stop right in place. Just hold on. Just think twice. Just feel twice. And then do it a third time. And then really ask what's going on here. What's going on here? What am I here? What is this here? What is this whole experience? What is the meaning of life? What is existence? What is creation? What is God? Is God watching me? What other what other energies are watching me? What other energies am I a part of? What other consciousness? Multitudes of consciousness might be out there perceiving me and perceiving my shenanigans and watch me carry on as I carry on like a clown. Ooh, those are some things I consider deeply. And considering things deeply like that for me, I tell you, going down there kind of to the depths spiritually, so to speak, to start from such a dark place. Not kidding, when sort of the reality of reality hit me all at once. All the deception hit me all at once. My ego melted all at once because I realized the act I had put on for so long all my life. I felt like the kid in Hand in the Cookie Jar, except, with the pants down at the same time, doing all kind of naughty stuff, having all kind of sick, immoral, naughty thoughts that could all be perceived at the same time by, say, like, mom and dad, except it wasn't mom and dad. It was more like, you know, all the energies of creation. I became visible to all at once. My whole past, every thought, every single thing I had done or even considered was looked at. And I tell you, that's a pretty naked feeling spiritually, so to speak, to go, who am I kidding? There's no hiding anything from anything because something greater than all of us made all of this. And, yep, I'm going to have to take full responsibility for every little, every action I did that caused harm. Everything I said that was mean and rude, I have to feel those things. Every sick ass little thought I had, this, excuse my language, every sick immoral thought or whatever I might have had or whatever stuff I might have looked at and been a part of, because just by looking at it, I was supporting it. And then I would laugh about or joke about something I saw or something and spread that while I was spreading that same incorrect immorality. So I was helping these dark ones do their work for them. Just like I realized what was going on with, pretty much, I don't know, everybody I seem to have run into, it seemed to me. Not everybody, because I know I was probably one of the most crazy folks. I figure folks around me didn't, and it's probably why maybe I didn't see more sanity, because you know what, or maybe they were all that crazy too. To me, it really doesn't matter at this point, because that whole time for me, that whole first part of my life, the whole majority of my life was so suppressed. It feels like a past life that I hardly know anything about, because I couldn't think or feel fully through it or reason through it or really experience it. Little short cut off snippets of weird mental images and different things that just kind of come in bits and pieces nowadays. Kind of not quite. I don't mean the whole thing's gone like that, but I mean it feels like that. Just the change in me, the night to day, yeah. I figure it might as well be like that. It was like a whole, it was a whole fake existence, is what it was. So, so man, I tell you, so here we are. Here I am. What's going on? Yep, that's sure. That's why it's kind of hard for me to consider any of the stupid images that used to be programmed in about the future as a whole. Just because to me it can't continue with these systems as it stands right now. It can't. You can't build layer upon layer of deception on top of nature, make it all unnatural, make it all harmful, control and subjugate, enslave life in general, enslave and consume and torture and use and buy and sell life. You can't do that with all these layers of deception constantly, and it's so unnatural. It's not nature, so it's not going to be able to work. So none of this stuff is going to be able to stand as it stands the way it's been falsely taught. All these different concepts, it's all ridiculous. And how long is the theater going to keep going? How long are more and more and more different stupid concepts going to be made up in different ridiculous ways of folk explaining simple truth and in twisted, ridiculous snake oil type of ways to keep folk locked in some ridiculous state of belief of this, that, or the other, not knowing things for themselves inside. They're way too much snake oil salesman. I know that too. When some of these folks that really do some kind of work to get some kind of more expansiveness in their consciousness to really put these concepts together, it only makes a better snake oil salesman. Because they're not doing it from the heart in a selfless fashion to try and help, to try and get you devoid of labels, to try and get you devoid of belief. No, they're trying to say a whole bunch of like truthful stuff and then make you sound like you're the bad guy if you disagree with something because they want to put a certain label on something, and they say, because I said so much other stuff that was true, well, now I can use and I can sling this label at you or this belief at you, and you got to think that's true. You got to know that's true because all the other stuff I'm saying comes from the heart. And since it comes from my heart and my soul and my spirit, that means it comes from the Holy Spirit. And that because I know that's the Holy Spirit that's speaking through me, that means it's Jesus and this and that. Nope. Now your word slinging, your belief slinging, your name slinging. You know what, not to get all ranty on the snake oil salesman. I'm about sick of that horse shit. Pardon my language. Because when you can seal it, see it. Yeah, see it. It need to be sealed off. When you can see it and you can feel it for what it is and where it's coming from, you can feel that intent, that mismatch, whether they realize that mismatch there is there or not, whether they're doing it on purpose or not, doesn't matter. Or from an ill intent, let me say, because they are doing it very much on purpose. When you speak words on purpose. You formulate those sounds, that energy of sound, based off that thought or feeling, very much on purpose. Because if you don't, well, then you're in that mode I was locked into for 39 years of my life, to where brain is just making sounds because it don't understand energy anyway. Not its own, not anyone else's. So it's going to just repeat stuff energetically through the vocal cords, nonsensically, not from a place of wisdom or truth, not from a place of empathy and reason, in sync, in unison. No, it's going to be coming from some belief or some taught nonsense. So I offer that advice. Be careful of the snake oil salesmen that peddle belief. That peddle belief in the form of the hope of salvation from this, that, or the other something. You know what? You're all the things you were supposed to be. You're all the things you're supposed to find. And you're supposed to find how you're connected to what put us all here. And it doesn't take a label. Because however you put thought and feeling to it inside doesn't have to be a word that is ever expressed to anyone outwardly. So there's no need to ever form it. Unless you decide you want to, from a place of your own knowing, your own wisdom, the own way you decide to you communicate with, through you and with nature and the creator and the creation of you and the creator of all of it and the creator of all of us and whatever that is and however you name it. Thing to me is not to sling that label anywhere else. because that's for each other individual to do on their own, not to be led down some path like these Pied Pipers like to do throughout society, leading folk down these false paths of belief this way, that way, or the other way to their own whatever false version of the creator they want to present and portray to them, and then make them falsely believe in, and then vampirically suck their energy away from them as they watch them self-destruct due to the false belief that they've now instilled in them. Seems to me that's going to be a heavy, heavy karmatic price to pay for those snake oil salesmen, no matter what costume they wear, no matter what guise they come under, whether they come under the straight up or straight overtly blunt, I'm here to control and subjugate and enslave you. Well, lots of karmic prices to pay there. And same for the ones that show up going, hey, I'm your friend. I'm here to help you. I'm here to tell things that will truly indeed help you, will help you get through life in a better way, to heal. Yet I won't be telling you the full truth because I'm going to keep you locked into some form of belief. Well, karmic price to pay there too, folk that do that kind of thing. Because you're just another Pied Piper. You might have a better, more sweet sounding message, one that actually does help. But it's also doing harm, ain't it? Because how do you know the individual that intook your words can get past that belief that now you have instilled? You're not going to be there, are you? You're not going to be there after you instill that belief into them, no matter how much help you gave them, you left them with a belief. Are you going to be there for them to let them know that that name doesn't have to be used in such a way, or that concept doesn't have to be used in such a way, because that was only a starting point for them to get started, not for a place to them for them to stay stuck in forever in some repetitive cycle of this repetitive place of belief. No, the truth isn't belief. The truth is noble. The truth is morally right, and the truth is morally correct, and it's absolute in its nature. It's that truth of know thyself, do no harm, cause and effect. It's truth. It's the truth that all these systems of deception are nothing but systems of deception on repetitive loops of each other, with folk mindlessly playing them out, while being ever mindful to play them out to a T so they don't upset their master. Huh. Weird. Like I say, I'm not pointing fingers as I served whatever master I served, of course. During my 39 years of mind-controlled enslavement in this place with everyone else, without ever questioning, without questioning fully, without feeling fully, like I said before, because I was cut off and I could not. Have to stop allowing and consenting all this toxic behavior, the toxic care that is not care, the toxic drugs that are not medicines, the vaccines that cut off the spirit inside and cut off the mind from itself. It's ridiculous. It has to be stopped. It cannot be consented to. It has to be just left. It has to be spoken to and told it's nonsense in its face, whatever costume it wears, wherever it wears that costume, no matter what it's doing, just so it's known, and then left for whoever it is there, standing there to take that in, to be left with that, to take that in, to go, oh, this does indeed need to change because this is indeed broken. We're all broken. How could it have gotten like this? Let's do it. Let's change it now. Because there's enough harm had been caused. No more needs to be caused. And that's the thing, because Harm is not a need. Harm is the want of a sick mind. Harm is the want of an aberrant of society, of an individual trapped in a predatory mind state or in a mind state of fear. Lash out and cause harm. I guess I'll stop this again for now. I appreciate anyone that listens. Feel free to share any of this as you feel. It's, yeah. All right, then. I'm going to get going. Have a good evening. Have a good day, whatever time it might be, wherever you might be, whenever you might hear this. And good luck to you. Good luck to you in this thing we're all in together here. Though I think luck has nothing to do with it anymore. It's all action or inaction type of thing. But, anyway, I'm going to get going. Appreciate it.